Today, I am meeting with Fernanda for the first time. And today I am talking not so much just about language learning, but about this international community that's forming around language, around people's interests in connecting with people from other parts of the world. And I was introduced to Fernanda by Ibrahim of Egypt, who follows me on Twitter, and who pointed out that Fernanda has a book club and a podcast about her book club. And she was going to be in her book club, they were going to be discussing my book where I talk about my experience learning languages. So I thought it would be very interesting to chat with Fernanda. Before I get going, I just want to remind you that if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe, click on the bell for notifications. If you follow us on Spotify or some other podcast service, please leave a review. Okay, Fernanda, bon dia, first of all.
Bom dia.
Bon dia, bon dia.
Nice to meet you, Steve. I'm so happy to be here. I'm thankful to meet you.
All right.
Thank you for having me here.
No, not at all. I thought it was such an interesting story because it has to do with books, with reading, with language, with people connecting. So first of all, Ibrahim lives in Egypt, and he suggested I check out your blog or podcast. And what connected you with Ibrahim in the first place? Can you explain the background there?
Yes, we are Effortless English member. And we have AJ as a coach of English.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And we have a great community, great international community with people from all over the world. Mm-hmm. I'm Brazilian. Ibrahim is from Egypt. We have friends from France, Italy, German, Serbia, India. Mm-hmm. Oh, a lot of people. And we have a great relationship in this community. Mm-hmm. And
I should point out, for those who don't know, that AJ Hogue, Effortless English, is a tremendous teacher of English. He teaches by actually helping people learn rather than teaching things at them. So he's very much, I mean, I know AJ personally, I've met with him, and I'm a great supporter of what he does to bring people together around learning English.
Yes, absolutely.
So what prompted you to start a book club and to start a podcast about your book club?
Yes, it's not a book club.
Okay.
We have a book club from our group, but I started to do this podcast, and I combine books and language because I love learn languages and I love books. Mm-hmm. And books are a great resource to acquire vocabulary, to have fun learning and have fun at the same time. Mm-hmm. It's so grateful, and I choose your book because as the first one, because I love your book. Mm-hmm. This book inspired me a lot. Mm-hmm. When I first read your book, I just read twice, and now I'm reading it in French.
Okay.
Yes. When I first read, I think to myself, oh my gosh, I'm a linguist, because you said everyone can be a linguist,
right?
You know? Yes, and you don't have to be intellectual or a great academic person to acquire a second language, to learn a second language. I think it's so great. Mm-hmm. So great.
One thing I should point out, because I always get criticism for using the word linguist to describe someone who's many languages. In most other languages, the word is polyglot. Whatever. But in English, if you look up the dictionary, the first meaning of linguist is someone who speaks several languages. Because after all, linguistics came along later. but the word linguist is at least 500 years old, and it describes someone who learns and who speaks several languages. And I wrote my book, where I can't remember the name of the book. What's it called again?
The Way of the Linguist.
The Way of the Linguist. And at that time, I was unaware of the name of the word polyglot. And to most English speakers, linguist is someone who speaks several languages. It's a problem when we translate the book, because then we can't really use the word linguist, because in other languages, linguista means someone who studies linguistics. But I wrote that book in 2003. At that time, I spoke 9 languages. And I describe my own experience, and yeah, I encourage people to learn languages, and hopefully it achieves that. Anyone can do it. But yes. Interesting. So you have the so explain your book. So you do have a book club.
We have a book club in our group. We choose a book
within Effortless English, or in São Paulo.
No, just from internet.
Okay,
on Zoom.
Internet.
We gather to all of us in Zoom, and we discuss. We discuss every meeting. We discuss one chapter of the book. We read this book during the week, and we discuss. We schedule a time to discuss this chapter of the book.
So to be clear. So this is all in English.
All in English, because...
And these are non-native speakers of English. So these are people who are learning English.
Yes.
And you choose a book, and then you schedule a Zoom conference, and then people come on, and you might read a portion of the book and discuss the book. And typically, how many people show up for these meetings?
We had a meeting today in the morning. We are 7.
All right.
7 people. Yes, 7. And each one discuss. One person make a little summary of the chapter, and the others discuss the ideas, and all of these in English, because English is our common language.
Right.
Because I speak Portuguese, one friend French, another one speaks Hindu.
Right. Hindi.
Yes, Hindi. Yes, and so on.
So, do you have any native speaker there? Like, does AJ participate, or is it's all learners?
All learners.
Oh.
All learners.
I mean, that's a great idea. We could do that with other languages too.
Yes, absolutely. I have a book club in my French group. Another one. My French group is just with Brazilian people that learn French.
And so does this, for example, is there an organization, or is there a website, or, for example, the French group, how does it get together? How do you connect with the other members?
On Zoom also. Zoom. Okay. We use Zoom. And we send a link. Everyone join us, join in this meeting, and we discuss the book.
How do you recruit new members?
How
do you find members?
I engaged in an French academy in Brazil, and for English we get together from AJ.
Okay, all right.
Yes, we meet each other in Twitter first, but now we have. AJ has a group in gab.com.
Is that gab.com?
Yes, gab.com.
Okay. All right, very interesting. Yes. But you also have a podcast, because Ibrahim sent me a link to your podcast.
Yes.
And I went and checked it out, and it was very nice, like a very nice landing page, and very, very well done. So can you give me some background on the podcast and what your objective is there?
The reason the reason why I decided to do this uh, it's for my practice English,
Mm-hmm.
to practice my English and improve my English,
Mm-hmm.
to be able to speak more fluently, because sometimes I forget the words that I want to say, and making the podcast I can prepare something carefully,
Mm-hmm.
and I can read, I can speak spontaneously also, and I think I will improve. I
Mm-hmm.
have friends in our group from Effortless members
Mm-hmm.
that have also a podcast. Ibrahim has a podcast, a great podcast.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
I should look him
yes,
up. It's very interesting. So you say you have the podcast in order to improve your English.
yes,
And I am sure that as you speak with me now, speaking in English, which is not your native language, that
yes,
there's a certain level of anxiety that you may miss something, or you might not be able to remember a word. Yet for me listening, I have the impression that your English is totally natural.
oh my gosh, thank you.
Oh, it's amazing the difference between how we feel about our language, where we're worried we're going to forget and we can't find this word.
Yeah,
We take another word. We all do this, right? We can't remember the word we want, so we take some other word, and we change our conversation to kind of suit the words we're able to find, and so there's
yes,
a certain level of tension. But for me, listening to you, I don't sense any tension whatsoever. And so I
yes,
think it's an important message that we're always much more nervous than we should be.
yes,
And we
yes.
actually do a lot better than we think we do. So, I mean, I feel the same when I speak Portuguese. I make so many, yeah, people understand me. So it's good enough. So I'm going to leave, by the way, I'm going to leave obviously links in the description box to your podcast, to Ibrahim's podcast. I'll get that information so
Yes,
that people can follow up. But I just think yours was such an interesting example to me that Ibrahim from Egypt suggests I talk to Fernanda from Brazil,
yes,
and you were brought together by AJ Hope from the United States, and you've got people there from Serbia, from France, from India, from wherever. And it's a wonderful sense. I mean, to be able to connect with people in any
yes,
situation. I mean, you want to connect with people who live near you, for example. I mean, we are happiest when we're connecting with other people. But now that we can connect with people in a meaningful way, it's not, personal. You can't give a person a hug, but you can connect. And so I
yes.
think that's an interesting example of how the social media, which often has very negative effect on society, can also be very positive in bringing people together.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So
It's
where do you think
amazing.
your podcast will go? What do you see as you're doing it for yourself? You say to
Yes,
improve your English, which is already very good.
yes,
You want to encourage others to do the same thing, and
yes. And I want to discuss about books. Sometimes I'm reading a book and I want to discuss, and I don't have people around me to discuss. And I want to say something about this book with someone.
Mhm, mhm.
And I think I will create this to read a great part of one book I have read.
Mhm.
It's amazing.
Yeah, yeah, very interesting. Well, I will. I wish you the best of luck. I think it's a tremendous initiative. Again,
Thank you.
my wife and I were in Brazil. We thoroughly enjoyed ourselves. We didn't get to Sao Paulo, but we got a bit of a flavor of Brazil. I still remember on the Copacabana, we were sitting there having a beer, and
Hi.
people they have these in the different cafes where they're serving beer. They also have bands, and people walk by and they're dancing the samba. Everybody's
Yes.
having a good time. It was fun.
but but you go to Salvador. You went to
Yes.
Salvador. Yes. Salvador is my favorite city in
Oh, really?
Brazil.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm from Bahia. I'm from Bahia.
Yeah.
Yes.
Salvador was amazing. There again, at night, we went for a walk, and again, they have bands in the different cafes and restaurants. So you're hearing music all over the place.
Yeah.
And we went to the old city, where the slave trade, market was, and the old Portuguese style houses, and it was a very interesting city. It's a different flavor, completely different flavor from Rio.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally different.
But we walked all over, took taxis. I mean, it's got its social problems. There's massive favelas in Sao Paulo, but we met some people, actually, Link members who live in a favela. So I guess it's a life that people get used to, and that's what it is, They manage. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Fernanda. A lot of fun, and I'm sure that my viewers will enjoy finding out about your podcast and your book club.